So, I mean, obviously, the basic protractor, you measure the angle by lining up the vertex at some center point, and then one side was 0, and it gives you that angle. Whatever this is lined up with, let's say that it's 64 degrees, is the measurement of that angle. Most of your protractors will only measure to the nearest degree because that's as fine as they can be marked. There is something called a universal bevel protractor that will actually go down to about, well, I've only seen them really in practice around here, they go down to about a 12th of a degree. But once we get smaller than a degree, we have other units that we can measure our angles in. 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. The symbol for minutes is the single quote, just like the symbol for foot. 1 minute then is divided up into 60, this one makes sense, seconds. The symbol for seconds is the double quote. So you do have to be a little bit careful with these because those are the same symbols we use for feet and inches. So you have to know the context we're working in. So I might have an angle listed as 32.375 degrees. Well, that same angle could be listed as 32 degrees, 22 minutes, and 30 seconds. This notation over here is known as DD notation. That stands for decimal degrees. This notation over here is known as DMS notation, which stands for degrees, minutes, and seconds. So the first thing we need to be able to do with these angles is to convert from one to the other. So if I have an angle, let's give you 51.738 degrees. So in decimal degrees, converting to DMS, degrees, minutes, and seconds. Just like last semester when we did our decimal feet into feet, inches, and sixteenths, we start out by taking the piece that's in front of the decimal point and writing it down. There are going to be 51 degrees here. That won't change. We're taking that piece that's after the decimal point, this 0.738 degrees, and we're going to convert that into minutes. We do that conversion because 1 degree is 60 minutes. So the degrees cancel out, and you can see basically what it becomes is 0.738 times 60. So we get 44.28 minutes. Now again, just like we did with the degrees up here, we take the whole number off that. The 44, that is our minutes. And we're going to take the decimal, the 0.28 minutes, and we're going to convert that piece into seconds. So 1 minute is 60 seconds. The seconds cancel out, and it is 0.28 times 60. Giving us 16.8 seconds. Now it is perfectly acceptable to write down to a tenth of a second, so we could write that as 16.8. I'm going to round it to the nearest second, to 17 seconds. The reason for that, most measurements I've seen that go down to smaller than a degree will go down to 5 seconds, or sorry, 5 minutes. Like I said, that's 1/12 of a degree, which is about as small as I've ever seen things, usually see things measured. I've only seen one application that went down smaller than a minute, And that was a tooling company that actually did measure angles down to the newest 15 seconds, a quarter of a minute. That's pretty fine. I mean, I've never seen anybody that even measures down to a single second. So for us to go down to a tenth of a second in our calculations is kind of silly. So we can just round it to the nearest second. If you go to a tenth of a second, I won't mark it wrong. So we did this whole process out here just like we did that feet, inches, and sixteenths conversion last semester. But you may have seen that there's a much quicker way to do it. Just keep it in the calculator as we do it. So if I have like 23.219 degrees, and I need to convert that into DMS, I'm going to take my calculator, 23.219, and of course the 23, I'm going to keep as degrees. So I could have just not entered it, just entered the decimal of 0.219, or I have to subtract it off. So that is 23 whole degrees. Now what's left there is still decimal degrees. I need to convert that into minutes. And how am I going to convert it into minutes? Just like I did over here, I'm going to multiply by 60, giving me 13.14. So that is 13 minutes. So back to my calculator, I subtract off that whole number of 13, leaving me with 0.14 minutes. How do I convert that to seconds? Once again, times 60. There we go. That is 8.4, so that's just 8 seconds. I am in the habit of always writing 2 digits for both the minutes and seconds. So you can see there the 8 seconds, I write it out as 0.8 seconds. The main reason I do that is because the older calculators and stuff, you had to enter it as 2 digits for it to be accepted. Now you don't have to, but it's just a force of habit for me. I'm going to have you guys try one. Convert 38.596 degrees into degrees, minutes, and seconds. I'll give you a minute to do that. How many whole degrees do we have? 38. Good. So then we take the 0.596 times 60 to get 35.76. That's 35 minutes. Then what do we do with that? Okay, I'll subtract off the 35 to get the 0.76. And you're right. Times 60 is 45.6 or 46 seconds. Any questions? Well, how about going the other direction? If I want to go from DMS, degrees, minutes, and seconds, back into decimal degrees. So I might have 27 degrees, 51 minutes, 18 seconds. And I want to put it back into degrees, minutes, and seconds. Well, I start with the smaller unit, or not degrees, minutes, seconds. I want to put it back in decimal degrees. So I start with the smallest unit. And I'm going to convert that smallest unit into the next bigger unit. So that's 18 seconds is my smallest unit. If I want to convert that back into the bigger unit, which is the next biggest unit is minutes, what do I have to do to it? Divide by 60. So 18 divided by 60 is 0.3, right? That gets added to the 51. So this is now 51.3 minutes. So I have 27 degrees and 51.3 minutes. Now I take the next smallest unit, the smallest unit that remains, and I have to convert that. So I have the 51.3 minutes. How do I convert that into degrees? Divide by 60. So I added 51 to my 0.3, 51.3, and I divide by 60. Gives me 0.855 degrees. So that adds to the 27. Give me 27.855 degrees. Now, again, you probably noticed this could all be done right in the calculator. So let's take 39 degrees, 17 minutes, and 42 seconds. Where would we start? 42, and we divide it by 60 to make it minutes. And then Add that to the 17 minutes. And yes, we divide that by 60 to make it degrees. 0.295, we're just going to add the 39 degrees to it. So 39.295 degrees. Any questions? Okay, I'm going to have you guys convert one. 11 degrees, 41 minutes, 54 seconds. I'll give you a minute to do that. So we're going to start out with the 54 and divide by 60. We're going to add the 41 to that. Take that total and divide by 60, and we're going to add the 11. So 11.6983 degrees. Typically, I'm going to ask that you go to 4 decimal places when we do decimal degrees. Any questions? Okay, well, the next step is to do some operations with these degrees. So just like when we had feet and inches or any other units, we might have 27 degrees, 38 minutes, 51 seconds, plus 14 degrees, 27 minutes, 48 seconds. And when we add, we start on the right and work our way back to the left in case we can carry, in case we need to carry. So go ahead and add 51 plus 48 is 99 seconds. Can we get a minute out of that? Yeah. How many? Just one. So we carry the 1 minute. What do we do to the 99? Subtract 60 from that. That leaves us with 39 seconds. So now we've got 1 and 38 is 39, plus 27 is 66. Can we get a degree out of that? Yeah, 1 degree we can get out of it. So what do we do to the 66 minutes? Subtract 60. So that leaves us with 6 minutes. And now I've got 1 and 27 is 28, plus 14 is 42 degrees. So it's 42 degrees, 6 minutes, 39 seconds. The other side of that, we might have something like 43 degrees, 18 minutes, 37 seconds, and we may subtract 19 degrees, 52 minutes, and 43 seconds. Again, just like any other subtraction, we start on the right and we work our way back to the left in case we need to borrow. 37 minus 43 can't be done, so I borrow from the 18. That's now 17 minutes. What does the 37 seconds become? 97. We borrowed 1 minute, which was 60 seconds. 97 minus 43 is 54. Now we've got 17 minus 52, which is a problem. What do we have to do? Borrow from the 43. That is going to become 42, and the 17 minutes becomes 77 minutes. Now we subtract. 77 minus 52 is 25 minutes. 42 minus 19, 23 degrees. Any questions? Okay, time for you guys to try a couple. 13 degrees, 58 minutes, 27 seconds, plus 38 degrees, 19 minutes, 31 seconds. And then I'm also going to have you do 51 degrees, 27 minutes, 49 seconds, minus 38 degrees, 52 minutes, 58 seconds. Have you performed those two operations? We'll talk about them in a minute. Okay, let's see how you did. So for number 1 here, we start out with the seconds. 27 and 31 makes 58 seconds. Nothing to carry there. 58 and 19 makes 77 minutes. So we carry 1, and we're left with 17 minutes, because that takes out 60. So we've got 113 and 38 make 52 degrees. Very good. Next, we have the subtraction. 49 minus 58. What do we have to do? Borrow. This will be 26, and this will be 109 minus 58, which is 51 minutes. 26 minus 72. What do we do? This will become 50, and this becomes 86. 86 minus 52. 34, and 50 minus 38 is 12. So 12 degrees, 34 minutes, 51 seconds. How many of you had both of those right? All 3 of them right? Yeah. I can't talk today for some reason. Okay, so our next step is to have something like 17 degrees, 43 minutes, 51 seconds multiplied. Let's go times 5. So we still start on the right and work our way back to the left. 5 times 51 is 255 seconds. Can I get a minute out of there? I can get more than 1. How many can I get out of there? 4. 60 times 4 is 240. So I subtract 240, leaves me with 15 seconds. Now I have 5 times 43, which is 215. What do I still have to do to it? Plus the 4 makes 219. Add the 4 that I carried. 5 times 43 is 215 plus 4. What's that? Yeah. So we've got 219. What do we do with that? Okay, we can get 3 degrees out of that, which 3 times 60 is 180, which leaves us with 39 minutes. Now we got 5 times 17, which is 85. So is it 85 degrees? What do we still have to do? Add the 3. 88 degrees. 88 degrees, 39 minutes, 15 seconds. I'll have you guys try one of these right away. So 22 degrees, 18 minutes, 57 seconds, times 4. I'll give you a couple minutes. So 4 times 57 is 228. How many minutes can we get out of that? 3. So then we're going to subtract out 180, right? Leaving us with 48 seconds. And then 4 times 18, which is 72, plus 3 gives us 75. What do we have to do with that? Subtract 60 and carry 1. So 75 minus 60 leaves us with 15 minutes. Now we got 4 times 22, which is 88 plus 1. 89 degrees. So 89 degrees, 15 minutes, 48 seconds. How many of you had that? How many of you were getting there if I gave you a little more time? How many of you are not sure how we got it? You'll get there? Okay. That was plus 3. Just sloppy handwriting is all. So then to divide, we might have something like 53 degrees, 27 minutes, and 36 seconds that we're dividing by 6. When we divide, remember that's the only operation that we start at the left and work our way to the right. We go backwards. So we're going to start out with 6 going into 53. How many times does 6 go into 53? 8. So that's going to be 8 degrees. What's 8 times 6? 48 degrees. So we subtract and we have 5 degrees left over. Well, before I can bring down the 27 minutes, I have to turn that 5 degrees into times 60 makes it 300 minutes. So 27 plus 300 is 327 minutes. Now I have to do 327 divided by 6, which is 54 minutes. 54 times 6 is 324. I subtract, I am left with 3 minutes. Once again, before I bring down the 36 seconds, I have to do what? 60 times 3 is 180 seconds out of those 3 minutes. I bring down the 36 to make 216 seconds. 216 divided by 6 is 36 seconds. So 53 degrees, 27 minutes, 36 seconds divided by 6 is 8 degrees, 54 minutes, 36 seconds. So what if I have 27 degrees, 49 minutes, 24 seconds? I'm going to divide that into 4 equal pieces. In your notes, I'm going to have to try that one. I'll give you a minute. Okay, so 4 goes into 27 how many times? 6. That's 6 degrees. What's next? 6 times 4 is 24. We subtract to get 3. Now what? 3 becomes 180, yep, times 60. Then what? Bring down the 49 to make it 229. And then? $56, yes, 229 divided by 4 is 56, which 56 times 4 is 224. 57 would work, you're right. Which would make that 228. And then? Subtract to get 1. Turn that into 60 seconds. Bring down the 24 to make it 84 seconds. And then 84 divided by 4 is 21 minutes. There's 21 seconds. 6 degrees, 57 minutes, 21 seconds. What do you think? Okay. A little bit of foreshadowing. Next class, we're going to talk about radian measure. What radian measure, we've talked about our degrees, and our degrees being a rotation. Starting from 0 degrees, it can either be a change in direction. Let's say this is 58 degrees. It could be a change in direction by 58 degrees or a rotation where 58 degrees is 58 3/60ths of a full circle or a full turn. When we talk about radian measure, what we're actually looking at is a circle. And we're going to talk about this circle. There's actually a special type of circle called the unit circle. And it's called the unit circle because its radius is equal to 1 unit. So it has a radius of a unit. And the way radian measure works is we'll use this 0 point as our starting point, referred to as the initial side. And let's say we have that 58 degrees of our angle of rotation. Now, being that this radius is 1, being the unit circle, we can find the length of this arc here. The length of that arc is the size of that angle in radians. So what radian measure is, it's not measuring a rotation, it's measuring the size of the arc cut by that angle on this unit circle. Well, that arc is always a fraction of the whole circumference. What would the circumference of this unit circle be? How do you find the circumference of a circle? Pi times diameter. The diameter of this circle is 2. So the circumference of this circle is 2 times pi. If I rotated 360 degrees, how much of the circumference of the circle would I trace out? The whole thing, right? So what that tells us is a full rotation, or 360 degrees, is equal to cutting an arc of 2 pi radians. That equivalency is what we're going to use to convert between degrees and radians tomorrow. For now, I'm going to have you guys work out of your packet. Page 461, exercise 20-4. Actually, I believe this is in your textbook as well. On page 464 through 465, exercise 20-5A. Page 467 through 468, exercise 20-5B, and page 472, exercise 20-7. What's that? I'll hold off till tomorrow.